You can't do everything on the Big Island in 7 days, but we sure tried. Here is part one.
Valerie, Kyle Travel Channel.
We just got off the plane, so we're in Kona. It was like an over 6 hour flight because of the headwinds, I guess. So it feels so good to be up and walking around. We're gonna go to our Vakasa. I will show you guys what that looks like when we get there. Before we do that, we do have to pick up our car rental. That's the first step, then the Vakasa. I'm so excited. Well, we ended up with a yellow Mustang that I kept calling Bumblebee because we got to the car rental and he told the guy, I'd like a Jeep. And the guy said, okay. And then he saw this car and said, oh no, I want that one. So that's what we're driving for the whole week. It's not practical, but it's a nice little fancy car.
There you go.
Here it is, our Vakasa. Here's a quick tour of our Vakasa for the week. Nice little bedroom. Have bathroom, really pretty shower. The tile's really nice. And then the hallway. So we get to kitchen. A little open kitchen area, dining area, sofa. The main reason we booked it was because it's right on the beach. Let's take a look at the view from our Vakasa. Here it is. So like I said, we booked the Vakasa because of the view. We did go back and forth on which one to book quite a few times. It was really great. There were just a couple weird little things, like the pole for the light in the living room area broke because it was rusted off, but oh well. There was a book that did have some different places that you could look at and recommendations. They left us a nice little gift. And we really honestly couldn't beat the view and the access to the beach. That's what we did the first night, was go outside, explore all the little crevices in the water where there were some starfish. There was a little sea cucumber. So all in all, I really enjoyed the Vakasa. I think Kyle enjoyed it a little bit more than me. After we explored, we did go to Foster's Kitchen for dinner. By the time we got to Foster's Kitchen, we were starving. It was only a few minutes of a walk, so it wasn't too bad to get there. And I have to tell this story. So we were looking at the ahi stir fry, and we asked the server, what's the portion size like? And he specifically said, I could go out surfing all day and come back and order this meal and still share it with someone and have some left over. And then we got the meal, and that was not the case. I don't know if he was trying to cause a divorce, but I was so hangry. So we split the ahi tuna and we got a Lilakoi, so passion fruit cheesecake. Everything hit the spot. It was fine to split. Watch the portion sizes. And if you're starving and hangry and staying in a Vakasa where you have a fridge and microwave, might as well just order your meal and get leftovers. That would have been so much easier. It's our first full day in Kona. We just got up. We're walking to Island Lava Java for breakfast. This I actually saw in Diners, Drive-Ins, and Dives. So Guy Fieri was there. And, he's only let us astray once in Vegas at his own restaurant. So we're going to try it out. But the menu looked great. After that, I think we're going to head to Walmart, pick up some groceries to have for breakfast and lunch. We plan to eat out for dinner a handful of times and then hit up a beach, and I'm gonna go to a Starbucks. This is Ali E Street, where it's really touristy. There are a bunch of restaurants, and Island Lava Java is coincidentally right next to where we ate dinner yesterday, and I didn't know it. Okay, it is time for breakfast. Here is the water. And here's Island Lava Java. The view from the restaurant was really pretty. That's why I wanted to kind of show you a 360 there. I started with ordering my 100% Kona coffee in a French press. It came out. I even had some to take with me. Super delicious. I would order it again, but I have to show you the meals we got. My meal especially was so good. Okay, we have a garden scramble. I got the luau scramble and it has little pineapple chunks. It has pulled pork and the pork is so juicy. The pineapple chunks give it the perfect little bit of sweetness. The potatoes are amazing. I'm so happy we came here. We went to the Kona Village Farmers Market. It's Wednesday through Sunday morning and we got there pretty early. As we were leaving, it got much busier. And here's some of what we saw. At the farmers market, they had some fresh fruit. They had some flowers. The fruit actually looked really, really good. We saw people buying it to take back to their hotels and their rooms. We didn't get any, but I probably should have picked up at least one thing. They had plenty of souvenirs, so if you're looking for something, you could definitely find it here. I don't know price-wise what it was compared to other places. We don't typically do a lot of shopping, but we did end up I got a bracelet and he got a magnet for our souvenirs because we don't like to take too much home. Next, we went to Greenwell Farms. I found this online and it was just a free coffee farm tour. It was really interesting. There was plenty to see, plenty to do. I'll kind of show you a snippet. It was about an hour-long tour and it was free with free coffee samples as well. So once you go to the area where you can purchase coffee and things, they did have an iPad to sign in for the tour. Tasting all the different flavors side by side was probably one of my favorite things. You don't realize how different the flavors are until you have them one after another. The pea berry was especially interesting. It's based on the shape of the bean that comes out of the cherry. Really, really interesting. Great tour. Highly recommend it. They also had single origin chocolate, which for $7.95 for a little square, I definitely had to get one. It's very good. Single origin chocolate is typically really expensive. This is very different than our chocolate experience in Ensenada, which I'll have coming out in a couple weeks on the cruise. You'll have to watch that and compare the chocolates. Here's a little snippet of the tour.
If a bag is completely full, then it'll weigh about 100 pounds. That's how much it can hold. Most of the time, they're just selling it to us as raw cherry, and we're processing it and roasting it and incorporating it into the coffee that's for sale here.
I promise I was paying attention, but when a little mongoose comes out and starts running around, you kind of just watch them. They are so cute. We saw them running around all over the place. You could hear them rustling in the trees. This little guy popped out and was just hanging out for a minute before he ran away. The next stop was Walmart and Starbucks. Yeah, I know, but we went anyway. We just finished going to Walmart, which is so funny to think that we're picking up groceries, but we got some frozen pizzas, things to kind of cut down on eating out every single meal, some breakfast. Here's Hawaiian rolls in Hawaii. And also, I did not need this tiny shopping cart, but my goodness, I almost did need it. Okay, we're at the Starbucks off of Henry Street. And I am gonna go in and get the same thing I always get. There's the Hawaii collection. It looks like a pineapple. I got my iced caramel macchiato, and I think everything is pretty much the same. I did get some cute little pins, so that's my fun stop that makes no sense, but I stopped at Starbucks anyway. And then for the rest of the trip, I'll be getting Kona coffee wherever I can get it. The next place we went was Pu'uhonua o Honaunau. So this is one of the two national parks that we went to, the other being Volcano National Park. It is a very, very highly revered historic park because it used to serve as a place of refuge for fallen warriors, different people who broke laws. And I would recommend if you go to the website, learn a little bit more about the history, the park, why it's so important. There's a quick 20-minute video on there right now. If you learn about it ahead of time when you go, you understand the significance and importance of the statues, the buildings, and I think you get a little bit of a deeper appreciation for what you're walking on in the sacred ground. So here's a quick little tour. I won't show you everything as always because I want you to experience it when you go there yourself.
Yeah, buying to make different types of bowls and baskets. And today I'm working on ceremonial helmets.
编一个帽子，没有编好，它是这是不同的阶段，还没有编完。它是个装饰性的东西，它还可以用来弄什么。
Now we're walking to Two-Step Beach. We just left the national park and I forgot my bathing suit in the Vakasa. So I'm gonna be wearing my shorts and t-shirt into the water. Good way to start the day. Two-Step Beach is about a 5-minute walk from the national park that we were just at. And like you can see here, it really is basically 2 steps to get into the water. It is slippery. Make sure you only go in where the cone is because I could see people slipping on the rock and getting hurt. The water was an okay temperature. We were there in November, so it may have been just a little chilly. There were some bright yellow fish, all kinds of different fish. Take snorkel gear if you can. This is what you see when you pop out of the water, the 360 view. It's really beautiful. I highly recommend going to this beach. After a quick rest at the Vakasa, we got ready for our first of 3 excursions or things that we booked and planned for the week. We are headed to the top of Mauna Kea for sunset and stargazing. Okay, we just got to the Bank of Hawaii and we're in the Target parking lot waiting for our Mauna Kea tour person to come pick us up. We're gonna go up the volcano and do some stargazing. And anything else I need to know about it? No. So we had a bus come and pick us all up. There was a fairly decent sized group. We ended up in 2 buses. We found this tour on Viator. You can see the things that are included. They do give you a jacket and gloves because holy moly, I was not expecting it to be that cold and that windy when you get to the top. So the way the tour worked was they picked us up, took us to the visitor center where we could acclimate. I'll show you that in a second. After about a half an hour, then we switched on to different vans that had the capabilities of getting us all the way up to the summit where we could watch the sunset. Okay, we're at the visitor center. We're here for 30 minutes to acclimate and make sure no one has like altitude sickness or anything. There's some little gift shop stuff in there. And after that, then I think it's another half hour to the summit. We'll be up there for sunset. On the way up to the summit, the tour guides were fantastic about providing more information about the historical significance of the area, telling stories about the gods and goddesses that inhabit the volcanoes. It was very, very informative. Here's a little bit of what they told us.
So there's 3 different types of lava rock. A'a, Pahoehoe, and Ko'i. And Ko'i is a specific type of lava rock that is only found on Mauna Kea.
You can kind of get an idea about how bumpy and rocky it is once you start getting closer to the summit. We took some time to stop at the telescopes. They taught us a little bit about those, who owns them, who operates them, the history of getting them approved to be put on top of the volcano. And like you heard in the video of the tour guide, there are 3 types of lava rock, and this is the ice-quenched basalt that is found only on Mauna Kea. One of the other lava rocks is really light and spiky. The other one is smooth like brownie batter almost. This one was very, very heavy. So now we have the sunset. We were up there. They timed it so perfect. It was about 5 minutes from start to finish of watching the sunset. I'm going to play a little bit of music and let you enjoy the rest. After the sunset, we drove down a little bit to do some stargazing. I found that that was the best part of the tour for me, which is shocking because you would think watching the sunset would be. No. The tour guide set the telescope up to show us different galaxies, different planets. One of them we saw was the Dumbbell Nebula, and the photos that they sent us after the fact were of what we actually saw through the telescope. I loved it so much. I was obsessed. I want to do another stargazing tour because it was so cool to see things that you don't even know they exist, honestly. They also had a camera that was able to take photos at night with all the stars behind us. This was definitely a highlight and nothing that any of our phones could capture. These are the kind of souvenirs that we like to take home. We did see people driving up to watch the sunset that were not part of a tour group. You can certainly go that way. After this experience, this is something that I would splurge on while you're there. It is kind of a bucket list thing. And not only do you get to go to the summit of Mauna Kea, you get a tour guide telling you about the history, the area, and then also you get stargazing and you get the nighttime photos. Hands down, one of the coolest things that we did. Well, that is the end of day 3, and I don't know if it's everyone's favorite part or just mine, where I go through what we spent on our trip so far. Starting with day 1, we ate at the Amex Lounge on the way out, so that was $0. We did get some burritos on our layover for $38, and then we ate at Foster's Kitchen for $66. So $104 the first day. That all went towards food. Normally I do break it up between food, entertainment, and logistics. Here I'm doing day 1, day 2, day 3, and then on the last video I'll have it all broken down like normal. So on day 2, Island Lava Java breakfast, that was $62. We did get a couple drinks for $9 like waters. Farmers market, we spent $14 on souvenirs. The coffee tour was free, but the chocolates were $17. I got 2. We spent $109 at Walmart getting groceries to help save on food costs for the next couple days. Day 3, Starbucks and pins. I spent $29. We went to the national park. That was $55, so that park pass will be good for Volcano National Park too. Two-Step Beach was $0. For the Mauna Kea summit, we did use Chase points, which we had to cash out. So the thing with that is technically we used points, but we cashed them out at a rate that is not ideal. So while technically we spent $0 out of pocket, we could have used those points to get a better cash out rate on something else. This was something we definitely wanted to do. So we went for it, even though, like I said, the cash out rate was less than ideal. I do talk about using points a lot, and it takes work and time. We had been wanting to go to Hawaii for a couple years, so we did spend half a year planning, if not more. And we finally have our sneak peek for part 2, which should come out next week. We did the Hawaii Tropical Botanical Gardens, we did the Moonlight Manta Snorkel, and we did Volcano National Park. I will show you everything we did, everything we ate, and everything we spent. As always, thank you so much for watching. Make sure you subscribe so you don't miss next week's video, which is going to be Hawaii Part 2. I am going to include an extra video next week as well of all the manta ray footage. It was amazing. In the meantime, click here to see a 2024 recap and our 2025 plans, or click here to see our January trip to my favorite place, Vegas.